Good afternoon, everybody. I am coming to you today from the dark, mysterious woods of Alabama. And I was planning on doing a little bit of hiking to start off this episode, but it's just been so hot still, and there's much better hiking weather in the forecast. So we're going to be cruising this road tonight, and some of the other roads around here. I've only been up here one time before to this area, and I saw a lot of snakes. Nothing crazy, but good numbers, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for tonight. However, on my way in, I already found a snake, and it was a good one. So we're going to start off the video with that guy. I'm going to cut to that encounter, and then I'm going to get back to cruising. So without further ado, here's our first snake of the night. Well, that was a fast start. That is a huge timber. Oh my goodness. That is so awesome. I haven't even run an intro yet, and there's just a giant timber. I mean, this is one of the biggest I have ever seen, just right here in the road. Oh, he's getting grumpy. All right. She is definitely unhappy, so we're gonna make sure she gets off the road safely. Holy crap, what an animal. And what a way to start the night. All right, well, this beauty is off the road and safe from traffic. And I'm gonna keep moving before any nosy locals come by. Look at all the scarring on the back end of that snake. Something definitely tried to catch or kill this snake at one point in time. So awesome. What a treat to start out the night with this big, beautiful timber here in Alabama. But snakes are moving, so I'm gonna get back to it and we're gonna see what else we can find. But that is a fantastic way to start off the episode. Huge timber rattlesnake. All right, it's gonna be dark here shortly, but I just wanted to say a few more things about that rattlesnake before we get back on the road. The more I think about it, the more I realize how crazy scarred up that snake was, looking back at pictures, and hopefully it'll come out pretty well in the video. Something very obviously tried to chew on that snake's tail, and did so pretty effectively. But the fact that that snake is still alive right now and didn't get eaten means that whatever it was that decided to mess with him is probably dead. And that is really crazy to think about, that that snake murked something in the process of trying to eat it. It's not very often that I actually have timber rattlesnakes actually try to bite me, but when I went to hook that snake to get it further off of the road, it struck. And when a snake that big strikes at you, it's not necessarily that it scared me, but it's just like, wow, that snake actually is willing to defend itself with its bite. And a lot of times when I move big timber rattlesnakes around all the time to get them out of the road, to take pictures of them, etc. And while I always prefer to keep hands off, sometimes you don't really have an option. If there's cars coming, you got to get them out of the road, so I use my hook. When I first made contact with that snake with my hook to move it into the woods after finishing filming, it struck instantly, which makes me think that whatever that predator encounter that snake had that ended up leaving it with all those scars probably made it a little bit more wary of encountering other people and animals, which is interesting to think about. But yeah, I'm gonna get back on the road. Hopefully we'll find another one or something else. I would really like to see a pygmy from this area. All right, well, here's our next snake of the evening. A nice little rat snake. I'm guessing that guy's about a year old. He's still kind of small for a yearling, but there's no way he was born this year and he's already that size. Kind of interesting. It's pretty well camouflaged with the road. I wasn't even sure if I was turning around for a snake at first, but sure enough, nice little gray rat. Last time I came out here, these guys were one of the more common snakes I saw. I think I ended up seeing like 5 or 6 of them, all little babies. But this guy is definitely in need of a meal. He's pretty skinny, so I'm gonna make sure he gets across the road real quick and wish him the best of luck. Go get you something to eat, buddy. That way, yeah. Away from the road. Well, there's our first copperhead of the night. Let's go get a look at him. It's a little guy. Really, really pretty little guy. Look at him. Beautiful. This guy's got a little bit of attitude. He's striking at me right now, but really pretty light copperhead as our next snake of the night. So far we've had a copperhead, a timber, and a gray rat, and it's still not even completely dark outside, so. Can you stop striking at me, dude? This guy's also a little bit on the thin side, but he is really pretty. So I'm just gonna get him out of the road and keep moving. All right, our first snake after dark is a garter. Familiar face. We've been seeing a lot of those back in Georgia the last couple of outings, but I think this is my first one I've seen in this part of Alabama. He's probably not going to stop moving very well, but good looking snake nonetheless. First snake after dark. Hopefully there will be more to come, so I'm just going to let this guy keep cruising and we're going to do the same. Well, there's our next copperhead of the night. This one is quite large. One of the biggest, maybe the biggest we've seen since we got back from Texas. Look at that guy. Really cool looking too, nice and dark. He does not really seem like he wants to stop moving, but good looking snake. Next copperhead of the night. It's been a few minutes since we found that garter snake too, so I was kind of wondering if things were slowing down, but then this guy popped up, so we're just gonna let him keep crawling and get back on the road. But nice big, kind of dark copperhead, really healthy. You see now, I'm not gonna put my foot too close to him since he's so active, but good looking snake. Keep on going, off the road. Off the road. That way, yeah. Here is another big copperhead. The same stretch where that last one was. I mean, almost the exact same spot, and it's definitely a different snake. This one is much lighter, but also big. Look at that. Copperhead number 3 for the night. What's up, dude? So now we are at 3 copperheads, a rat snake, a garter snake, and a timber. Really good numbers and good diversity and good quality so far. Gotta say, this has been one of the best nights we've had since returning from Texas. We're going the other direction, but I guess that works. I haven't seen a single car since I got here, so that's another great thing about this spot. No people, lots of snakes, and good quality snakes. Well, there is another copperhead. Seen quite good variability in these guys tonight. This one is really dark looking. Honestly, it's kind of ugly as far as copperheads go. I don't say that about snakes very often, but this guy is just really kind of dull. Almost looks like he's going into shed maybe. But I believe that is copperhead number 4 for the night. Good numbers of these guys out. Probably the best night we've had, like I said, since we got back from West Texas. So good numbers, good diversity, and stuff's still moving pretty late at night. So I'm probably gonna do at least one more pass here before I start making my way home. I think it's currently around 10:20 or something like that. So I'll put the exact timestamps on the snakes like I've been doing recently, but yet another copperhead. All right, everyone. Well, I have cruised most of the way back home at this point. This is a really nice little road cruising route to get home from that spot. I really need to spend more time there. Tonight was awesome. It was a lovely break from the struggle bus that we've been riding for the most part. I mean, it's definitely been some good herping recently, but it's just been a lot of work to produce the things that we have been able to find. And tonight just kind of felt like a breeze. It was just snake after snake. I pulled up and found the highlight of the night within 5 minutes of being on the road. But yeah, I want to spend more time in that area over the course of the next few weeks. So we'll definitely be revisiting that particular road. If I don't see anything on the next couple miles between here and home, I will probably see you guys next time I get out in the field. Good evening, everybody. It is the next afternoon. It was nice and hot today. We didn't really have any rain, so I'm going to try to cruise again. The weather forecast ended up being pretty much inaccurate. That's not really anything new. It's hardly ever accurate, but there was supposed to be a lot of rain and cool weather this week, and it just ended up being pretty warm and dry for the most part, which is fine by me because road cruising can be so good this time of year. I'm always itching to get back out, so we're just going to do what's working and try a little bit more night cruising tonight, and then when the better weather approaches, we'll do some more hiking and flipping. Well, I hope you guys like copperheads because this episode is going to be full of them. I can already tell this guy's going to be a little bit wild. My guy. I mean, I'm glad. I don't even see. That thing just disappeared before my eyes. I have no idea where that snake went. I mean, he's right here somewhere. Oh, I see him. Right there. Quite the disappearing act that guy did, though. Really cool. Okay, not back onto the road, dude. Relax. There we go. Nope, guess not. All right, I'm just gonna make sure this guy gets off safely. That's a really clean, pretty copperhead, though. Want to let me get a picture of you, or are you just going to try to bite me? I love this guy's pattern. It's so clean. Very good looking copperhead. Start off the night. It's been a while, actually. I think it's close to 9:30 at this point. That's only our first snake, so might end up being kind of slow night. There we go. Look at you. Stop. Vipers are definitely active tonight. That is a beautiful little pygmy rattlesnake. One of the main things I was hoping we'd see tonight. And definitely one of my favorite local snakes. Fantastic. Well, that is about the best thing we could have found out here tonight, and exactly what I've been hoping to see cruising this area since we returned from Texas. Other than maybe mole king snakes, I'd say these are the big thing that I'm out here looking for most nights. So fantastic to get one of our big targets in the form of this beautiful little juvenile Carolina pygmy rattlesnake tonight. I did see another copperhead right after the first one. I don't know what this guy's doing. I did see another copperhead right after the first one, but it was just coming onto the road and I walked back and I couldn't find it, so no more video of the second copperhead of the night, but so far just the 3 snakes. So it's around 9:30 at this point, and only 3 snakes so far, 2 copperheads, and only one of those I was able to show you guys. So pretty low on the numbers, but high quality, and you know, I'm always fine with that. So such a fantastically beautiful snake. It's a small pygmy. They get quite a bit bigger. I'm gonna have to put my foot relatively nearby so y'all can see. Nowhere near strike range, obviously, but they do get quite a bit bigger than that. I'd say this guy's probably maybe 2 years old, a year old. If I had to guess, I would say he's a small 2-year-old, because he's a little bit bigger than I would expect a yearling to be this time of year. Still just such a gorgeous snake, a very clean individual, and definitely one of my local favorites. And I'd say these guys are actually probably my favorite venomous snake in the US. They're just so enigmatic, so beautiful, and so much fun to look for. I just absolutely love that pattern on the head, and just everything about these snakes. They're fantastic. As always, I'm gonna get some quick photos and we're gonna get back to it. But beautiful Carolina pygmy rattlesnake as our next snake of the night. So while I was sitting here looking at this pygmy, I actually spotted another herp. Where'd he go? There he is. Sleeping on the leaf right there is a little newborn green anole. That guy is so tiny. I can't get too much closer than this because I'm just standing in a giant briar patch trying to show you guys this lizard, but really cute little baby green anole, probably only born a few weeks ago at most. Alright everyone, well it is about 11 o'clock and I think I'm going to start heading in. Haven't seen anything since the pygmy at like 9:40, 9:30, something like that. I'll include the timestamps again. I think a lot of people are enjoying that and I am enjoying it too. I have that information down, but repeating it when I put it in the YouTube videos kind of ingrains it in my brain, so it helps me recognize patterns, and yeah, it's interesting. Just the 3 snakes tonight, 2 copperheads right back to back. I won't have video of the second one because it escaped off the road before I could get to it, but only the 2 snakes that we'll have filmed tonight, so I don't think I'll have enough to wrap this episode up today, but I'll probably go out and cruise again tomorrow and wrap it up there, hopefully, if we have a good night. So good morning, everybody. I'm coming to you from an impenetrable wall of kudzu this morning. I decided to actually get out this morning and hike a little bit, do a little bit of flipping, and check out some new spots, because it does look like there's going to be rain this afternoon. This kudzu sucks, by the way. If you guys don't live in an area where you have to deal with this, count yourselves lucky, because this is one of the worst invasives in the US, and it seems like every year it just gets worse and worse here in Georgia, especially in areas that are slightly urban, like where I am today. It just completely takes over the open areas. Really sucks. But anyways, it is looking like it's going to potentially rain this afternoon, so I'm not really going to count on being able to road cruise, but I did want to at least get out today for a little bit, even if that means not really seeing much, because we're hiking in August in areas that we don't normally herp. So there's no telling what we could or could not get into today, but I'm not expecting it to be a super productive day, just because the time of year and unfamiliar territory and all that. But there's some pretty good habitat out here, so nice big brush pile, big fields, really snaky looking stuff. I am actually looking at our first snake of the day. I think it's a racer. I'm gonna try to grab it here. Come here. Come here, buddy. Sure is a racer. Well, I was not expecting such a handsome snake. That is a giant racer. I mean, it's not Titanic or anything, but way bigger than I was expecting it to be when I first spotted it. And he was pretty well camouflaged down in that grass. He also hasn't bit me yet, impressively enough. Well, it's always nice when your plans kind of work out. I scouted this particular spot in the winter, and this is the first time I've been out here that wasn't in the middle of the winter. I just thought this edge looked super snaky, so it was the first place I came when we got here. And sure enough, nice black racer, big and healthy, really sharp looking. I'm gonna take a quick photo of this guy actually. All right, well, I got a couple photos of this guy. I'm just gonna let him go back into the grass right here, and we're gonna see what else is out. But hey, I wasn't even expecting to see anything today, so I'm just glad we found a snake. See, this section of the trail, instead of being a meadow edge, it's pretty much just a wall of kudzu. I mean, this stuff really sucks. And if someone doesn't do something about it, the whole meadow will be a giant kudzu patch within the next couple of years. Because this stuff just grows so fast. I mean, look at that. It's completely taken over. Here is a mouse just sitting there. Don't know what he's doing or why he's just sitting there on top of the grass, but he is. All right, guys, phase 2 of today is going to be checking out this cool creek that I've never been to. I don't really have any expectations for this spot, but it does seem like the kind of creek that could be really good for turtles and potentially produce some snakes too. So now this is kind of weird. I'm probably going to be wrapping up here soon because I just haven't seen much and it's starting to get really hot. But in this little pool right here, there are a ton of frog eggs. And you can see it's not fall yet, but there's leaves already starting to fall off the trees. And there's not really any frogs that are typically breeding this late. Much less in this kind of floodplain habitat. That is a loud airplane. But yeah, it's kind of neat. I don't know what these are, and it just kind of came as a surprise to see eggs in I guess it's the second week of August. And there's also fish swimming around in here, so chances are the second these eggs hatch, they're gonna get gobbled up by all these little minnows. So really, really weird. There's a little baby 5-lined or southeastern 5-lined skink. The herps have been pretty few and far between, but I've seen a couple of these guys. So we might not have found too many snakes today. In fact, we only found one, but over there is a whole bunch of stuff to flip. However, I went over there and started to spread it out a little bit because this is a perfect little micro habitat right here for cover. I started moving it around and wasps started flying everywhere, and I'm not trying to get stung today. So I'm gonna come back to this probably in the winter and spread it out a little bit, and hopefully it'll end up being the place where I find my first king snake in this county in the future. So this is the biggest one of the day, in my opinion. This is the kind of stuff that these little scouting missions are really intended for, because it's August and I wasn't exactly expecting to clean up on snakes today, but that's okay. Sometimes it's really nice to just get out and walk around, get hot, walk in the creek a little bit, even if there's no snakes out. Every day doesn't have to be absolutely loaded with snakes for me to be happy. So I consider this a win. I'm probably going to start heading back to the car at this point, and if I don't see any more herps, I'll probably wrap this episode up here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.